Diplomacy is usually quiet, but Donald Trump never played by those rules. He made headlines by boldly inviting Vladimir Putin to Washington, hoping to reset U.S. Russia relations. Ignoring warnings, Trump saw a chance for legacy, while critics called it reckless. The world watched, waiting for Moscow's reply. Trump was energized, painting the upcoming meeting as a turning point. He spoke of a future where the U.S. and Russia were partners, not rivals. Trump believed a strong personal bond with Putin was the key to solving global problems. He praised Putin's leadership, seeing a kindred spirit. His optimism was infectious. He envisioned breakthroughs in trade, security, and even peace. This wasn't just about a photo op. Trump wanted to make history and prove his critics wrong. Behind the scenes, his team prepared meticulously, scouting venues and drafting agreements. Trump was hands-on, determined to impress Putin and showcase American strength. The West Wing buzzed with anticipation, staffers preparing for a historic summit. Trump's vision was clear, a personal relationship that would transcend politics. He rejected the slow bureaucratic methods of the past, betting on direct leader-to-leader talks. He was confident his business acumen would win Putin over. The invitation was the first step toward a friendship he believed could change the world. Trump staked everything on the power of personal connection. The narrative was set. Trump, the dealmaker, about to pull off his biggest deal yet. The world waited, wondering if his unconventional style would succeed. For Trump, this was a chance to cement his legacy. The stakes couldn't have been higher. All eyes were on Moscow's response. Moscow's silence was deafening as the world waited for Putin's reply. Days passed, fueling speculation and suspense. Then the answer came, a firm, polite but unmistakable no. The Kremlin cited vague scheduling conflicts and the international climate. The rejection was cold, calculated, and public. Trump's allies were stunned. His critics felt vindicated. The global media pounced, dissecting every detail. Why would Putin snub such a high-profile invitation? The message was clear. Russia would not play by Trump's rules. For Trump, it was a personal and public humiliation. He had gambled his reputation and lost, exposed on the world stage. The image of the master dealmaker, rejected, was hard to shake. The narrative of a historic breakthrough collapsed instantly. The grand spectacle Trump envisioned evaporated. The bridge to Moscow was never built. The world saw a rare moment of American vulnerability. The silence after the announcement was heavy with disappointment. Trump's bold gamble had failed. The rejection became a defining moment. It was a lesson in the limits of personal diplomacy. The world moved on, but the sting lingered. Trump's response was swift. He tried to spin the rejection as no big deal. On social media, he claimed he was reconsidering the meeting anyway. He suggested Putin was missing out, never admitting defeat. But the snub was too public to ignore. Supporters rallied behind Trump, blaming the media and praising his strength. Opponents mocked him, calling it proof of failed foreign policy. Late-night hosts and pundits had a field day. The event became another flashpoint in America's culture wars. International headlines were brutal. Trump snubbed, Putin rejects Trump's olive branch. Analysts called it a diplomatic humiliation, contrasting Trump's bravado with Putin's cold strategy. The story dominated news cycles, reinforcing a narrative of American weakness. Inside the U.S. government, diplomats were frustrated. The public rejection made their jobs harder and weakened America's negotiating position. Allies worried about U.S. reliability, adversaries saw opportunity. The fallout rippled across the geopolitical landscape. The embarrassment was not just Trump's, it was America's. The snub exposed the risks of high-stakes, personalized diplomacy. The world took note. The lesson was clear. In global politics, image matters. And this time, the image was one of defeat. Why did Putin say no? The answer lies in strategy. Accepting Trump's invitation was risky. Putin prefers control, not unpredictability. By rejecting the invite, he avoided a chaotic summit and kept the upper hand. The snub was a calculated show of power, signaling Russia's independence. At home, it boosted national pride. Abroad, it showed Russia sets its own agenda. Global tensions were high, sanctions, conflicts, and accusations of interference. Accepting could have looked weak, as if Russia was yielding to U.S. pressure. Putin saw little to gain from a meeting with an unpredictable partner. Trump's promises were uncertain, his political position unstable. Any deal could be reversed by Congress or a future president. For Putin, the risks outweighed the rewards. The rejection was a cold, pragmatic move. It reinforced his image as a master strategist. In the end, declining was the logical choice. Rejection on the world stage tests any leader's character. Some respond with quiet dignity, minimizing damage and moving on. Others, like Trump, react with defiance, spinning the story, refusing to admit defeat. This approach may please loyalists, but can damage international relationships. Trump's response fit the populist playbook. Always project strength, never concede. Traditional leaders often absorb setbacks for long-term stability. The best learn from rejection, adapt, and seek new strategies. Diplomacy is a long game. One loss isn't the end. Resilient leaders show patience and humility, building trust over time. Trump's reaction highlighted the risks of ego-driven diplomacy. The world saw the difference between bluster and composure. In international relations, how you handle defeat can matter as much as how you pursue victory. The ability to cope with rejection is a crucial leadership skill, and in this case, the lesson was on full display. The snub left a lasting mark on Trump's image as a dealmaker. His personal approach had failed, giving critics new ammunition. The rejection became a symbol of the limits of his style. U.S. Russia relations returned to a familiar, tense reality. Putin's move showed that deep conflicts can't be solved with a handshake. The dream of a quick reset faded, replaced by hard-nosed competition. American diplomats now face a more assertive Russia. Future negotiations will be tougher, with less trust on both sides. The incident exposed the vulnerabilities of personalized diplomacy. It highlighted Putin's strategic thinking and America's need for realism. The world was reminded that national interests, not personalities, drive foreign policy. The grand invitation ended not with a handshake but a cold shoulder, and the world took note. Personal charm has its limits on the global stage.